Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host, a very good friend, is Dave.
Hello there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We are covering Love Island Season 10, episodes 40 through to 46, Chris. I think almost at the end there.
Yeah, yes, and I do apologise because we've had plenty of questions. Where have we been? I have actually been on holiday, and I was in one of the most remote places in the UK, the Isle of Wight, Dave, with no reception. And you were messaging me a couple of times, how's the holiday going? And I was not getting back to you for hours because I had no reception. So it was physically impossible to record. So I do apologise, everyone. So we're back, Dave, and we missed loads. And I know there's loads, and it'll be all old hat when everyone's listening, like, we're well over it. But we're getting towards the end, Dave. We are near the end, my friend.
We are. And, we can probably not talk that much about the parents episode, I guess, because that was the latest one. But I mean, just going back to last week, we had, Chris, the Snog, Marry, Pie game. And yes. I must admit, this was one of the more eventful ones because, again, I can't help but pick on Winter Love Island, right? Because it was just shit. And probably the most memorable thing about it was Olivia droning on about how crap Kai and how fake he was and stuff. But this one was pretty good. And I think Mitch might have set the bar. He may have set the world record for the amount of pies in his game.
The amount of black eyes he received, Dave, some of them pies were venomous, weren't they? They were really bad.
Force behind that, wasn't it? I'm just surprised he didn't have a broken nose with a few of them, especially from Abby.
Oh, Abby and Molly. I think Molly absolutely planted him one. Oh, he got absolutely torn to pieces in that game. He was funny. He was trying to play it down. He must have had at least 6 pies there, Dave. 5 or 6, easy. And they were all venomous, all of them brilliant. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but yeah, I thought it was really funny. And I did think, though, Dave, the guys were fucking absolutely cringing when Mitch was doing it all, Dave. And he was picking, and you were like, are you for real? You know what I mean? Like, he snogged Ella, married Katie, and pied Abby. And it's like, and you can see Scott on that going, oh, no, he's going to do it. Oh, my God. I don't know what he's doing, Dave. I don't know whether he's well aware of what people think or he's just doing it to fucking stay relevant. I don't know, but that was the worst thing he could have done, I thought.
Well, obviously, all of this is going to be unscripted, so it's going to be very non-linear. So I apologize if we've discussed this already, but had we covered like the whole Mitch flip-flop fucking whirling dervish that he is? Like, where he was basically going, yeah, I think I'm going to go back to Abby.
No, we haven't.
Going to LB. I don't think we have we? I mean,
no, we haven't.
What fucking planet is this guy on?
It was brilliant, wasn't it? And then he's like, and I don't feel the urge to kiss her. I want to get back with you. And then Abby's like, just cut him off. And he's like, yeah, I want to get back with Ella B. Just like,
but what was so great about that as well? I mean, Mitch, he's so fucking flaky. I mean, he's on par with Toby, isn't he, from a couple of seasons ago? Abby could not fucking wait to tell Ella B. She was absolutely reveling in it. Oh, I think you need to speak to Mitch, but it's the way she said it. She was reveling in the fact of rubbing it in Ella B's face. So then when it turned around again, I was just crying, laughing.
It was fucking brilliant. And I'm like, I'm watching it going, Mitch, you do know that we're all watching this, don't you? You do know that everyone's watching this. It's like, how flaky can you get? Honestly, Dave, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I did. And I also thought with the Snog, Marry, Pie game, well, Zach's mask slipped a little bit, Dave, didn't it? He told Whitney to shut up. He didn't like that at all when he got pied. And her reasoning behind it, he was fucking livid. And she's like, it's a gate. Oh, he did not like it when the boot was on the other foot at all.
Yeah. No, it's clear, isn't it? Sort of plays this cool, everything's too too much hassle, too much drama for me. But yeah, gets a little bit of criticism, and then he was fucking spitting his dummy, wasn't he? So yeah, I think honestly, I think him and Mitch, both come across, and probably Sammy as well, is just really immature. And the thing is, again, they've seen the show, all the previous seasons. They know what their strategy is to go into. And by the way, I'm going to come to Titan a bit, but that, like you say, the mask slipping. They just can't keep it up all that time. So he can sort of just do his thing, scratch his beard, call everyone broski, all he wants. But I heard that little groan. So,
fucking broski.
There is a fucking tit in he. Yeah, there is a bit of a nasty streak, I feel, underneath there.
Yeah, I do. And it all sort of, it's quite interesting with Whitney because this week, or the week that, she's been sort of front and centre in a lot of things, haven't they, with what's going on with the island. So that's been quite interesting. I wanted your opinion on some of that as well. Really good. But what about, Dave, when they did the couples game and Mitch started having a go, saying as if he'd binned Abby off and Scott was only with her because of him. And I'm like, again, great TV, but fuck me, is he deluded? And Scott absolutely tore strips off him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was a winner in that game, to be honest.
I don't.
I think there was just a bunch of losers. But yeah, again, with Mitch, you just saw him getting more and more kind of annoyed and agitated and like biting back a bit more. Like you say, you two are together because I didn't want Abby. Oh, mate, that doesn't ever sound good.
No. Should we've watched him flip flop.
Yeah, but he's flip flopping like a bastard. Abby, when Mitch did bin her off, Abby was like, "Oh, well, I'll just speak to Scott then." And Whitney's like, "No, you can't just fucking go to Scott." Meanwhile, Scott's like, "Oh, all right then." So it's all messy as fuck. But I don't. Chris, I don't know if I like any of this lot. Like I say, I mean, yes. Whitney is the exception, but I mean, I'm just casting my mind back to last week, and I know about midweek, I was like, oh, Abby, just fucking stop talking, please, because when it's like Mitch really fucked about with Abby and Ellaby, and it's okay just to be pissed off at him. And eventually I think she got there. But what was annoying me was how prickly she was being with everyone else. And also this thing of, look, I'm not bothered at all. Not bothered. Not bothered by you two. But then, like, she keeps sniping away. It's like, you don't have to say that you are bothered, but it's okay to be bothered. And it was just annoying me how much she was protesting that she didn't care what Mitch did when she clearly did.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think your analysis of all of them, they're all basically a bunch of bastards, aren't they? Let's be honest. They are. One way or the other, they all piss me off. With Whitney, but I'm also quite interested what happened with Ella, and I've seen a different take from people, how I saw it. But yeah, just weird. I mean, Abby's whole interaction with Mitch was wrong. However, Mitch has been so flaky, so horrible, just completely disregarding the girls. Ella B's in there for the fucking Instagram clicks. So much so with Mitch, yeah. Dave. Even Mitch's mum hugged Abby. That was like, oh, I want you to stay together. Even she gets the messy mantra that comes with Mitch. So what an interesting character. And I think with him, they got the casting right because everyone is just through you see all the lads like putting their hands over the face like, oh my God. Is he for real? He gives guys a really bad name for me, Dave.
Yeah. Again, he's that fake nice guy, isn't he? So
yeah,
I do think that is funny, but it'll be interesting so like Mitch and Ella B, I think they'll stay. I'm sure the last time we spoke, Chris, I said Mitch has not got a chance.
Yeah,
she's putting on the breathy voice, and like trying to, pander to him, and he's just got no chance. And so he's trying to play it cool, but he's not fooling anyone. Scott and Abby, I just there are a couple of convenience, aren't they? I
Yeah.
just don't really see anything there. What was kind of funny was, Scott's told everyone, which is going to come back, I'm sure, Chris, that he definitely told Zach. I can't quite remember who else was there, that yeah, he's going to sack it off with Abby later. And then the parents come in. It's like, oh hi, and Abby's saying to the camera like, oh, I feel so reassured now that Scott's kind of a slow burn, and his parents saying that that's just him. It's reassured me a bit, and I'm like, oh shit, this is not going to go well. But one of the things I wanted to speak to you about, Chris, obviously Whitney and Ella falling out. That was a big part of last week.
Yeah.
And I saw quite a few comments saying, "Oh, I like Whitney up until this point, but not now." And I'm like, I don't know how I see this, to be honest. So here is how I see it right now. But I am prepared to be shot down and be wrong, because I'm not like, oh yeah, it's definitely this way. It's just how I'm trying to rationalize it. So Ella gets into the shower. She sees Whitney there, waiting there for a shower. She just nips in front of her and apparently spends 20 minutes in the shower. Now, you haven't been in a shared house as such, but you have been the eldest of many, many siblings, haven't you? So
I have.
you know the score. You know that you're probably the most selfless one, because you have to be, because if you're not, you get a clip round the ear, I guess.
Yeah.
But so you kind of have to be, and then the further down the chain you get a bit more selfish, don't you? So I mean, I've lived in shared houses, and you just get people who are just completely fucking inconsiderate. A classic which used to piss me off, Chris, is just put the dishes into the sink, so it clogs up the sink with your dishes, but don't actually do the dishes. Just leave them there, overnight potentially. Little things like this, which sound so petty and ridiculous, don't they? But it pisses you off. And these guys are cooked up there together 24/7. And so these little things piss you off. And so that had obviously pissed Whitney off. And the whole smug thing in the couples game, so saying that Lorcan and Whitney were the smug couple. Now, here's where I think Whitney, in the same way that I said about Abby, just fucking admit it. It's okay to be a bit pissed off sometimes. Just fucking admit that you were a bit pissed off at being called smug. But she wouldn't. She wouldn't have it, would she? Oh, it's totally nothing to do with that. But you're just a selfish tea. You see you next Tuesday. But fucking Ella's reaction to it. Talk about over the top. And I tell you what, I don't like Ty and Ella together. Like when they're like giving the little childish fucking barbs, throwing the barbs out at the rest of the couples and stuff. It just did my head in that. So I kind of feel like Whitney wasn't faultless, but I could absolutely understand why she was a bit pissed off. And I don't think there were any winners. Whitney wasn't particularly great, and Ella wasn't particularly great. It was just a great bit of drama.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. I'm the same. I think one thing I say with Whitney, when you keep telling everyone that you're really humble, it's usually like, well, why you don't need to say that. Your actions will dictate what people think if you won't they? Like, so if you are humble, you don't need to say that. However, I think Whitney is great at handling conflicts. I think she's great at handling these situations. She doesn't raise her voice. She speaks. I've got a question. If she is Ella's best friend, why would she then basically character assassinate a Dave? He was like you said, look, I can imagine if me and you live together, I'm sure at some point you'd be pulling me going, Chris, you just fucking slow down here. What the fuck's going on? Because you know what I'm like? I can go 100 miles an hour. I'm sure it might be the same with me. Because being friends with somebody, you know what it's like. Being friends with somebody is totally different to going on holiday with them, Dave. And if you stay in the same apartment or hotel room or caravan, that opens a world of fucking hurt, my friend. You know that. I know that. I had many arguments with my brother years ago when we were young. We got a Butlins and he had this lad and we had Jordan, and it kicked off because he's one of the people who loves to put pots in the bowl, as you just said, Dave, and leave them. And when you question,
really?
oh yeah, and when you question him, considering he's an absolute cleaning control freak, and his house is like, even my house is immaculate, but it's even more immaculate than mine. You have to shoes off at the door, everything. Yeah, he didn't see a problem with it. Like you said, when you've not got a dish to fucking have cereal, or you need baby needs to work. Yeah, it did kick off between me and him, as only brothers do, David. But so I do get that. However, that felt like it was. I do think Whitney was deflecting, but I think unfortunately Ella's delivery and the way she reacts to everything just comes across as a slapped ass to me, Dave. She's just so She doesn't react in the right way. And I mean, even Whitney said she's got princess fucking traits, like she gets her own way. Who was like, oh no, like, so I did find that quite interesting that Whitney would absolutely say all that. But I just think I agree with the Ty and Ella situation. Look, he's told her he loves her, Dave, and it was done slightly different. But when they're together and his back's against the wall, it is like being in a schoolyard, isn't it? It is really like childish. But Dave, I'm here for it. I'll be honest with you. At 44 years old, I'm here for all of this shit. So it was great ending. But I do understand, like you said, I do understand why Whitney's getting a little bit of pushback on the way she acted. Because I do think if you've got to tell someone that you're humble, you don't need to. I would have said she's humble anyway. I think she reacts great. I love the way she calls people out. That might have been a step too far because I do agree with you. I think basically her ego was a bit bruised by that comment.
Yeah. No, it definitely was, wasn't it? And she kind of hides it well. She doesn't raise a voice or anything. She's always very calm and collected. But it's just, just admit it stung a bit, and you didn't like being called smug. I think that's okay. And the thing with, Ella definitely does have like princess spoiled child vibes, doesn't she? But you are talking about people on Love Island. I fucking think most of them like that. This is why, you hate the baby game, but I don't mind it so much because you kind of get these self-obsessed, spoiled people who, everything's about them. And even though it's only a little doll and it's only for like, not even 24 hours, is it? It's like a day or something. More like 12 hours. It just, you can see how unraveled they get throughout the day. So that's why I like it. But yeah, so speaking about Ella, right? And I said I don't like Ty and Ella the way they're sort of like being really childish and throwing barbs at snidey little comments out at the other islanders. I tell you what, I wonder if Ty is fucking playing this game to an expert level because he's had the whole kind of journey, hasn't he? He's come in like this fuckboy. He's melted his heart. He's recoupled despite a bit of drama after Casa Amor. He was, egging all the other lads on Jake style, but Jake was a bit more obvious about it, or got a different edit, I guess. I'm just wondering now. Is Ty playing this game just really well?
It could be, because I do think you touched on something before, and I've seen him a few times. When something happens, Ty is there in the guy's ear, like Sammy or whoever, and he's like, he did it with Ella. He's like, I won't stand for that, It's very subtle, but I do like it because he riles them all up to go, right, I'm fucking having that. He's very, very clever at what he does. It may not be, it may just be, he's just being himself, but I do think he's always there. And we called Mitch out for appearing like a fucking bad smell when some couple have had a bit of a bust up and he appears, especially if it's the girl, like the old classic.
Especially the first few weeks.
Yeah, the first few weeks, he was terrible. Every shot he appeared in. But maybe he is. And I think that also plays into the fact that one of the things I wanted to bring up was, who the fuck, and Sammy's doing my fucking nutting day, but who the fuck would tie in Sammy to pull Scott and say, I don't believe your relationship? Really? Fucking really?
That was the moment, Chris. That conversation was the one where I'm thinking, hang about, is he playing a fucking really good game here? Because there's no need for them to have that conversation. Like, what is your motivation? I don't even think they like Scott.
No.
So why pull him for a chat? And like Ty's saying, well, you didn't really talk to Abby, and in Casa Amor, and so it's all a bit convenient, isn't it? And again, there's a way he sort of says things. It's like it's quite condescending, I think, sometimes. And so I don't know. Was he just trying to do that? Sometimes I wonder if they're having a conversation, how much are they having the conversation with them, or are they signaling to us as the audience? When it's not like they're just having a chat, while they're sunbathing or something, and then you just catch a great soundbite or something. They're literally, it's in the evening, he's by the fucking fire pit. You know what I mean? It's just, it kind of feels set up to me. And I don't even mean by the producers there, I just mean like game playing.
Honestly, I think you're right. I think it's just, and Sammy, and with Ty, I think it's something to watch out because I've noticed some subtle things. And you know what, Dave? If he goes on to win it, fair play to him. He's played the game, and you know what I mean? Because it's very subtle what he does. But also, Sammy, fuck him and Jess, I am over. I am over so much, Dave. They end up in Hideaway. Don't care. Don't actually care. Sammy never changes. Jesse's acting like they've been together for 20 years now, Dave. It's love, young dream. And it's like, and we all may do that. I don't know. They're only young. I get it. But my God, is he took the piss out of her and treated her terribly? We've even heard stuff from ex-Islanders on podcasts now saying that he didn't find her attractive. And now they're this madly in love couple. So I think she is really, really silly. And he's just a bellend, Dave. And I can't stand him. And when him and Ty together, they are not. They just love stirring the shit, which again, great TV, but infuriating if they were your friends.
Yeah, but this is where I think Ty is the better game player because I'm slightly questioning: is he just playing a perfect game by accident, or is this all very tactical? Whereas Sammy, like it gets to the end and he's like, oh, thinking about making Jess my girlfriend. I'm like,
fuck off. I think I love her. Fuck
no
off.
way. And like, we'll set up this thing, and you guys all wait there, and you go, will you be my girlfriend? I'm like, fuck off. There's nothing authentic about that at all. And like you say, I'm not even buying now how much he likes her, but I do believe he's following his own strategy there. I think he's following his own plan. I don't think he saw that he would end up being with Jess. Jess just happens to be the person in his plan, but it could have been anyone. I think he's definitely executing a plan, mate.
I do, and I think as well, watching. I mean, we don't need the parents' fucking episode was a load of shit. Let's be honest, Dave. But a little bit creepy that Molly was jumped on her dad's back in a fucking thong, Dave, and he was giving her a little piggyback round the fucking villa. And also, I have come across another TikTok of Molly and her family, and they are trying their hardest to be, as I keep saying, the family, which is the dad and the two sons. I need to send you that. I need to find you them. But Dave, if you, that TikTok of her, they're constantly doing with the family, and mum and dad are there, and it's like, oh no, they want to be influencers as well. There's nothing wrong with it. I've got money. Oh, honestly, Dave, have you not seen the video? No. It's a new one. Oh my God. I've actually got the video. I screenshotted it and put it on the Facebook chat. It is fucking horrendous. Horrendous. Absolutely. She has been trying her hardest. And I tell you, she reminds me of, and this will make no sense to you, it might do to some other people. There's a girl, Scottish singer, stroke, I hate to say the word influencer, but she's called Talia Storm, Dave. And her mum was on Housewives of Guernsey or Jersey or whatever. And basically, her mum's a bit supposed to be, she's trying to be like Kim Kardashian's mum, Kris. And basically, this Talia Storm now is on TikTok. She's trying to do radio. She's trying to do everything. She's basically just sending her out there to, to do this like life. And that's who Molly reminds me of again. Like the family are behind her. This is the vehicle. She's the vehicle to steer into this sort of big wealth and everything. It just, it fucking annoys me, Dave. There's a lady called Dawn Ward who used to be in a housewife of Cheshire, and she tried it with her daughters. But Not very successful. But yes, Talia Storm is very much like Molly. Absolutely will go to opening of a fucking packet of crisp if it means you can get a picture on fucking paper or something. Fucking can't stand it.
Yeah, it does your head in, doesn't it? I must admit, when the parents come in and everything, I just sort of think, can't you put a fucking sarong on or something?
I know. That's
it is a bit much, isn't it?
Yeah, us as parents, he's like, oh, no, I don't need to see that. Come on. But it was weird. He picked her up and I was like, oh, this is just even creepier. But then, you're not done it on purpose. It's just obviously that's all they're wearing. It's not like he's consciously done that. But I think as well, like I mentioned, Mitch's mum, I didn't get a lot out of what happened. Mitch's and Molly's dad, you can see, because he's got a little bit of TikTok fame, he sort of knew what he had to do in there, to just make it have a bit of a presence on there. And I'm sure he's going to be there soon in the local, as seen on Love Island episode 46, and all that.
Oh, he'll be doing the fucking club circuit, won't he?
With David Brennan and Howard from the Halifax and Bubble from Big Brother.
Yeah.
Which single would you like on the door? Number 4. Oh, it's Molly's dad. Fucking desperados.
I mean, that is a stretch, isn't it, for fame? But
hey, I tried, Dave. Chris and Dave's reality podcast, TV podcast. Yeah. Who? Who the fuck are you? Anyway, Dave, just to top off the fact that... Sorry, go on.
Sorry, before we get into the mails and stuff, do you actually think Zach likes Molly? Because I'm just not that convinced.
Well, I was going to do an impression, broski, but I'm not convinced either, because there was a little bit of turning with Katie when he kissed Katie before she went, which I do think we didn't see the Whitney and Katie argument. Exactly why Whitney picked Katie not to go over Mitch. Mitch is a great personality. Bull fucking shit, Whitney. Let's be honest here. You do not like Katie, but we've never seen that narrative other than from ex-Islanders. No, as soon as there was something there with Katie and she went over talking to him and she pied him off, to be fair, he was ready for turning, Dave. I think if she'd have given him a little bit of an inkling that she was interested, I think there could have been more to that, definitely.
Yeah. I'm just... Again, we're getting into the final stretch now, aren't we? So, it's going to be baby game soon, isn't it? And your final dates and whatever. So, I mean, everyone's coupled up. You only get the occasional, ridiculous turn at the last minute. But these are the couples now, aren't they? And so I just don't buy it.
No, I don't. And what compounded this other shit show of an episode is we then get the VT for the talent show, Dave. And let's be honest, we've had a recorder, someone on a keyboard, someone is already set up by the producers to come out with a fucking ukulele or I don't know what, you know what I mean? Just some mouth organ, whatever. There's going to be a few people who are talented, and then there's going to be someone come out just being ridiculous, just so we can have all of them memes together on one video like we did a few years ago. It seems to be, they do it every year. Sorry.
That is the best bit, though, isn't it? It's not the actual episode. I find the episode excruciating, if I'm honest. But the memes that very quickly come out are the best bit. You got like say Molly in various positions playing a keyboard in a shit way. But I just think, it's the social media that I think complements this particular episode the best.
Brilliant. And it'll come, Dave. It'll come within a few minutes. We'll have all that. But you did allude to, Dave, we've had some emails. So while we've been away, I apologise, guys, for not reading them out. So the first one's from Andy. Listen, I haven't written in all season because everybody is terrible, except Whitney and maybe Scott. And poor Amber should be sent to Love Island Junior. The biggest mistake the producers made with casting is obvious. They ignored red flags that would be obvious on any dating site. I'm in my 20s, sexually acting, I've been in a relationship. Does this sound like someone looking for love? Now let's talk about Mitch. Mitch obviously sees himself as a nice guy, but a nice guy wouldn't leave his girlfriend of 2 weeks, not because another girl's someone way out of his league is showing interest in him. But Abby kept making him question his nice guy status by telling him she liked him. Even though he was getting to know the new girl, how dare she? No wonder he got the ick, in quotes. Turns out Mitch is not a nice guy. He's a dick. Cheers, Andy in Seattle. But yes, even though I dislike almost everybody, Sammy is the worst. I think it's a good answer.
He's nailed it there, hasn't he?
Yes.
Nothing to add there.
No, the next one's from Wesley. This is quite interesting what we were talking about before while away, Dave. He's put adding to the debate. Wanted to talk to you your debate around people of colour and how they seem to always be voted off at the hands of the producers. I think sometimes things are too easily badged as being racist or subject to unconscious bias. In terms of the public voting, the majority of the time people are voting for their favourite couple or favourite person, and it's the people with the least votes that go. Very rarely are the public voting people off. Actually voting people off, although the last one, I think, was at least compatibility vote, I must admit. With Catherine and Elon, they were just boring as a couple, and Catherine was a massive hypocrite and treated Scott badly after Casa. In terms of the producers, I'm not sure they are being prejudiced either. Yes, Catherine and Elon went without fanfare, and the second dumping was around the fire pit. But someone who was part of the second dumping was Montel, so he had a proper dumping, if you like. Molly got dumped in a crazy twist, so it's not just a minority. She should never have been let back in, though. I'd be aggrieved if I was dumped after her and not allowed back in. Also, this year we have had Ella, Uzi, Elon, Ty, Catherine, Whitney, Montel, Rishi, Andre, Mal, Tink, Gabby, Benjamin, and Danielle, all people of colour on the show. So if the producers are putting all these people in the show only to treat them differently, well, it seems a bit of a leap to me. Not to mention last year's winners were Sanam and Kai, and finalists in the summer one were Indy and Dami. Anyway, keep up the good work, and don't forget, love is blind, Wesley. So Dave, very, very good email, to be fair. And it was what we were talking about, weren't we? And we had quite a lot of debate on this.
Yeah, and I'm not going to move from where I thought before, which is not, it's not blatant, right? So, it's very subtle what they do, but I think there is an unconscious bias there. And he's right in terms of like separating out. There's the public vote, which is one thing, and then there's how the producers decide that someone will be ejected and when they will be ejected. So it's more subtle than it appears.
No, I think a great response and a great email as well there. Honestly, really, really good. So the next one, Dave, is from Samantha. I have a question. There's plenty I could write about tonight's episode. The Snog Marry Pie game. Mitch being one of the strangest men on television. Ella 1-on-2 or Molly and Katie competing for screen time. But I know you'll cover them and do a better job of it than I will. So instead, I have a question that maybe you'll have to answer for me. Ever since I saw it, I've been confused as to why this hasn't given anyone in the villa the famous ick. Why do Zach and Tyreek wear boxer shorts underneath their swimming shorts? I even saw Zach in the pool with them both on during one of the episodes. What is that all about? I look forward to being enlightened on this. Keep up the great work with the podcast, Samantha. So I haven't got a clue, Dave. Don't know.
No, it's one for the kids, I guess. But I agree. Yeah. I hadn't noticed that. But yeah, not good, really.
And the last email is from Tonka. Another email from Tonka. I love that name. The favouritism of Molly Marsh is real. Molly's privileges on Love Island. I'm going to say this again, but Molly should not have been dumped when Katie picked Zach. It would have added more entertainment value if Molly had stayed single, considering Zach's initial happiness with being coupled up with Katie. It's unfortunate that we missed the chance to see Molly's reaction to Katie's presence. However, Molly had the privilege to leave the show temporarily, observe how the public responded to it, then return to the island, which I completely agree with Dave, and we said that. The decision did impact Zach's experience in Casa Amor, and I agree with Whitney's comments about Zach being with Molly for convenience. Mitch in episode 43. Mitch expressed his dissatisfaction with Abby's speech at recoupling and mentioned that he would pick her. He also stated that he doesn't feel the urge to kiss Ella. It seems that Mitch has realised that Ella may not have such urge towards him, causing him to panic about potentially losing Abby. Saving Mitch in episode 44, sending Katie home and saving Mitch was definitely a questionable decision, considering Katie was the only one irritating Molly. It appears that everything is working in Molly's favour and playing into her hands. The favouritism of Molly Marsh is real. Whitney keeps saying Mitch is a strong character. I think this explanation is a cover-up. I think Whitney may have chosen Katie simply because she doesn't like her. And I will say, Tom, as we said before, there was an off-air argument of security and everything. So that, I think, is probably why that happened, as I've said before. So, no, thank you for all the emails, Dave. Anything to add to that, Dave?
No, brilliant email. I think, as annoying and much of a dick Mitch is. I've got to say, he's possibly the star of the season, isn't he? He's just
he's a
got so much drama. And yeah, the Molly May thing, so we've got this whole writers' strike at the minute, haven't we? So in Hollywood, probably in the next year or two, you're going to see a load of shit movies and TV shows and stuff. But I mean, you almost feel like there's the writers' room here, don't you? So it's like, well, what about if we ejected someone? And then we had them on After Sun and everything. We flew them back. And then everyone's going to be thinking, social media is going to be going nuts and thinking we're not going to bring them back. And then we're going to bring them back in Casa Amor. Oh, it'll be fucking mental. And it's like, it was such a damp squib. Hopefully they never do that again. But, no other islander has ever got such preferential treatment that I can remember.
No, it's bollocks. It's all stuff we said. We said it earlier about the plant stuff, didn't we? So
yeah.
I agree. I agree with that. Right, Dave. Anyway, if you want to email us, and thank you for today, mate. I have missed you. I genuinely have. So thanks everyone for hanging around, waiting for us and asking where we've been. It's all on me. I was sunning myself in the sunny Isle of Wight, and then I got piss wet through on the last day, Dave, and wanted to come on and podcast. But there you go. If you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media @cdrealitycast. As always, please get up to Facebook. Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. Had loads of people joining recently. We're trying to get up to 700. I think realistically, we're probably going to about 650. But it's still amazing that all you wonderful people have joined us in Facebook. So come and get over there, guys. And big thanks to Charlene as always. Now, if you want to support us a little bit more, get over to patreon.com/CD RealityCast. So a roll call of honor for today is Ken Gustafson, Lucky Lulu Green, Lauren Tracy, Susan Deedy, Katie Libby, Joanna, Noreen, Chloe, Brianna, Helen, Keith, Gillian, Zoe, Kristen, Maggie, Kate, Megan, Cassie, Fiona, Emma, Nicola, Macy, Helen, Larissa, Amanda, and our newest patron. And welcome to Kim. So thank you so much, Kim, for joining us. We really, really appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, mate. And I have missed you as well. And I've missed talking about this shit show. So we're into the final straight now. So, we've got a few more episodes in us before we see the season out. So thank you very much, sir. Thanks to all our listeners out there. Thanks to all our supporters. And we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.